From public transport to the Pope Mobile, tonight on the news we have a comprehensive report on the things that you didn't know about the new Pope. Good evening and welcome to News Plus Primetime News. I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara.
And I'm Krishni Panditratna. Let's take a look at the headline stories tonight.
President Rajapaksa meets with the Emperor of Japan. The College of Cardinals elect a Latin American Pope after more than a millennia. Court orders the seizure of a ship carrying substandard fuel. And the report of the committee which considered the Sri Lanka cricket chairman nomination of Thilanga Subitwala submitted to the Attorney General.
We have a Pope. Those were the words that the entire Roman Catholic Church was waiting for after white smoke was witnessed from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel.
About an hour later, the whole world was able to finally witness Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the apostolic successor of St. Peter, who took up the name Francis I or Francesco I. There was elation among the crowds that had gathered at the St. Peter's Square, braving rainy conditions, as they finally witnessed white smoke billowing from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel. As the Basilica bells rang out, throngs of people flocked to the St. Peter's Square to witness the new Bishop of Rome.
Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum, habemus papam. Eminentissimum ac reverendissimum Dominum Georgium Marium, Sancte Romane Ecclesiae Cardinalem Bergoglio, qui sibi nomen imposuit Franciscum.
After 5 rounds of voting, the 115 cardinal electors chose Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio as the next leader of the Roman Catholic Church. The new pontiff thereafter addressed the thousands gathered at the St. Peter's Square in a manner which reflected his simple lifestyle as a Jesuit priest. Breaking from tradition, Pope Francis then asked those gathered to pray for him.
Prima di tutto vorrei fare una preghiera per il nostro vescovo emerito Benedetto XVI.
Pope Francis I is being heralded as a pope of many firsts. He is the 266th head of the 1.2 billion strong Roman Catholic Church and is the first Latin American to wear the fisherman's ring. He is the first Jesuit priest to head the Holy See and the first non-European pontiff in 1,300 years. The Supreme Pontiff is also the first to take up the name of Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of animals. At a time when the Roman Catholic Church has been rocked by many scandals, this name is of special significance as Francis of Assisi is revered by many Catholics as a reformer and an individual who answered God's call to repair the church in ruins.
Pope Francis I hails from Argentina. He is known for his humility, simple way of living, closeness to the people, and then also always being faithful to the teachings and the traditions of the church. And he always wanted the church really to be the servant of servants, so that by her teaching, by her way of example, that the world will be inspired. So I am sure Pope Francis I will accomplish a great lot as the chief pastor of the Holy Catholic Church.
Now from the Vatican to Buenos Aires, Catholics worldwide rejoiced when Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio became the new Pope.
He is the first Jesuit and first Pope of the Americas to lead the world's 1.2 billion Catholics. Here are a few things to know about the new Pope.
Born on the 17th of December 1936 in Buenos Aires, Jorge Mario Bergoglio is of Italian descent and is the son of a railway worker. He was ordained as a Jesuit priest in 1969 at the age of 32 and swore vows of poverty, chastity and obedience, which is customary for Jesuit priests. After studying in Argentina and Germany, he was appointed as the Cardinal of Buenos Aires in 1988. He lives in a simple flat in the building of the Archdiocese next to the cathedral. Hailed as a cardinal of the common man, he leads a humble lifestyle, uses public transport and even cooks his own meals. President Mahinda Rajapaksa was granted an audience by the Emperor of Japan, Akihito, today at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo.
Presidential Media Coordinating Secretary Vijayananda Herat said that the President was afforded a warm welcome at the Imperial Palace. The Emperor had said that the 60-year relationship between both nations should be further strengthened. The Sri Lankan delegation headed by the President, who held cordial discussions with Emperor Akihito, also attended a luncheon with the Emperor. Presidential Media Coordinating Secretary Vijayananda Herat said the meeting was a key juncture in the friendship between both nations. His Excellency the President was afforded the highest respect in Japan in the form of a meeting with the Emperor. During the discussion, the Emperor had noted that Japan considers its relationship with Sri Lanka to be of the utmost importance and said that Japan would work to further ensure this relationship in the future.
The BBC reports that the draft resolution on Sri Lanka sponsored by the United States was tabled at the United Nations Human Rights Council last night. Amendments could be made to the draft resolution at a meeting this evening.
The US-sponsored resolution on Sri Lanka contains 6 points. The United States welcomes and acknowledges the progress made by the government of Sri Lanka in rebuilding infrastructure, demining and resettling the majority of internally displaced persons. It also welcomes the report of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights on advice and technical assistance for the government of Sri Lanka on promoting reconciliation and accountability in Sri Lanka. The United States welcomes the recommendations and conclusions contained in the OHCHR report, in particular on the establishment of a truth-seeking mechanism as an integral part of a more comprehensive and inclusive approach to transitional justice. It notes the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights' call for an independent and credible international investigation into alleged violations of international human rights law and international humanitarian law. The United States, in its draft resolution, encourages the government of Sri Lanka to implement the recommendations in the OHCHR report. The third point in the draft resolution reiterates the United States' call upon the government of Sri Lanka to effectively implement the constructive recommendations made in the Lessons Learnt and Reconciliation Commission report and to take all necessary additional steps to fulfill its relevant legal obligations and commitments to initiate credible and independent actions to ensure justice, equity and accountability. The United States encourages the government of Sri Lanka to cooperate with special procedures mandate holders and formally respond to outstanding requests, including by providing unfettered access to the special rapporteurs on independence of judges and lawyers, human rights defenders, freedom of expression, freedom of association and assembly, extrajudicial, summary or arbitrary executions, minority issues, and the working group on enforced or involuntary disappearances and discrimination against women. It encourages the OHCHR and relevant special procedures mandate holders to provide, in consultation with and with the concurrence of the government of Sri Lanka, advice and technical assistance on implementing the above-mentioned steps. The United States requests the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, with input from relevant special procedures mandate holders as appropriate, to present an oral report at the 24th session and a comprehensive report followed by a dedicated general debate at the 25th session of the Human Rights Council on the implementation of the resolution.
The Commonwealth Secretariat has issued a statement noting that Sri Lanka will host the 2013 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting as planned. According to the Commonwealth Secretariat website, the CHOGM will be held from the 15th to the 17th of November in Sri Lanka. The release also notes that the choice of each CHOGM venue is a collective decision taken by Commonwealth leaders. During the 2007 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, President Mahinda Rajapaksa called on the Commonwealth of Nations to pick Sri Lanka as a candidate to host the 2013 CHOGM. Thereby, during the 2009 CHOGM meeting, Sri Lanka was named as the venue for this year's Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Top Democrat on the House of Foreign Affairs Committee, Eliot Engel, in a letter to the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, expressed serious concern regarding the situation in Sri Lanka and called for an independent international investigation into alleged allegations of human rights violations in the country. In the letter, Engel says that there is no progress in reconciliation and accountability in Sri Lanka and that the country appears to be unwilling to implement the recommendations of its own Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission. The Democrat went on to say that 4 years after the conclusion of the war, Sri Lankan press freedom, freedom of speech, as well as the independence of the judiciary has come under serious threat. In addition, Engel charged that the lack of accountability has set a dangerous pattern for the country as a whole and that checks and balances, which are hallmarks of true democracy, have been removed in the country, making reconciliation more distant than it had been during the conflict.
Last night on Primetime News, we filed an in-depth report on how the amendment to the electricity tariffs could affect households.
Now tonight we take a look at the possible ramifications in the industrial sector due to the amendments in electricity tariffs.
We will take a look at the charges the industrial sector will have to bear through the new tariff proposal submitted by the Ceylon Electricity Board to the Public Utilities Commission.
Electricity tariffs for industrial purposes have been categorized under three groups, namely Industrial Purpose IP1, IP2 and IP3. Under IP1, a fixed charge of 600 rupees will be charged, while the cost of a unit of electricity during peak, off-peak and day hours will stand at 12 rupees and 50 cents. Under the IP2 category, a fixed charge of 3,000 rupees a month will be charged, while the price of a unit of electricity varies throughout the day. The price of a unit of electricity during peak hours stands at 21 rupees, while a unit of electricity during off-peak hours stands at 7 rupees. The price of a unit of electricity during day hours stands at 11 rupees and 30 cents under IP2. In the IP3 category, a fixed charge of 3,000 rupees will be charged, while 24 rupees will be charged per unit of electricity during peak hours. During off-peak hours, the price is reduced to 6 rupees, while the cost stands at 10 rupees and 50 cents during the day. The price of a kilovolt ampere will stand at 1,100 rupees for IP2, while 1,000 rupees will be charged for a kilovolt ampere under IP3. In addition to this, a fuel adjustment charge of 15% of the unit charge will be charged on each of these three categories. Proposals have also been submitted for the price revisions for the general purpose category. Thereby, the GP1 category has been split into two. For 210 kilowatt hours or less, a unit charge of 19 rupees and 50 cents will be charged throughout the day, while a fixed charge of 240 rupees will also be charged. For GP1 over 210 kilowatt hours, this fixed charge remains at 240 rupees. However, the unit charge increases to 21 rupees and 50 cents. Under the GP2 category, a fixed charge of 3,000 rupees a month will be charged, while the price of a unit of electricity varies throughout the day. The price of a unit of electricity during peak hours stands at 25 rupees, while a unit of electricity during off-peak hours stands at 14 rupees and 50 cents. The price of a unit of electricity during the day hours stands at 20 rupees and 50 cents under GP2. Through the GP3 category, a fixed charge of 3,000 rupees will be charged, while 24 rupees will be charged per unit of electricity during peak hours. During off-peak hours, the price reduces to 13 rupees and 50 cents, while during the day, the cost stands at 19 rupees and 50 cents. In addition to this, a fuel adjustment charge of 25% of the unit charge is imposed on all three general purpose categories. The public can continue to send in their comments on the proposed change in electricity tariffs.
Tariff proposal submitted by the CEB can be accessed through the PUCSL's official website www.pucsl.gov.lk. Written correspondence in this regard can be sent through registered post to the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, Level 6, BOC Merchant Tower, number 28, St. Michael's Road, Colombo 3. It can also be sent via email to tariff, TARRIF, at pucsl.gov.lk. Further information on the public consultation can be obtained by calling 077 270 1106.
While the PUC is conducting consultations from all stakeholders involved, News First also spoke to individuals from various parts of the country to gather their views on the proposed changes in electricity tariffs.
ලයිට් බිල්ල වැඩිවීම නිසා ව්‍යාපාර කරගෙන යෑමේ ඉතාමත් අපහසුතාවයකට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. අපි මේකට ව්‍යාපාරවලට යම්කිසි සහනයක් ලබා දෙනවා නම් ඉතා අගනයි කියලා අපි යෝජනා කරනවා.
මේව කරන්නේ මේ ලෝන් අරේ මේ අරගෙන. ඉතින් ඒකට මේ විදුලි බිලත් වැඩි වෙච්චාම අපිට මේ ජීවත් වෙන කට්ටිය තවත් අමාරු වෙනවා. ලයිට් බිල වැඩි කරා කියලා අපිට අපේ යන කස්ටමර්ගේ අපේ බඩු ගණන් වැඩි කරන්න බෑ. දැන් මේ ඉස්සරහට එන්නේ අවුරුදු සීසන් එක මෙහෙම ලයිට් බිල වැඩි වුණාම අපිට මේ මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක මේ වැට් එක කරගෙන යන්න හම්බෙන්නේ අපිට ලාභයක් ගන්න විදියක් නැහැ. පොඩි මිනිස්සු තමයි අපේ ගාවට එන්නේ. ආපුවම අපිට සෑහෙන ආය කරන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා. එතකොට මේ මිනිස්සුත් අපහසුතාවයට පත් වෙනවා. මේම කරනකොට අපි කොහොමද ජීවත් වෙන්නේ? කරන්න නැතු මොනවත් කරන්න බෑ. ඉතින් අම්බ කරසල්ලි කරන් බිල් ගන්න බෑ. ඉතින් වෙන්නේ ගෙදර බිලයි මේ බිලයි දෙකම සමානව ගෙවාගෙන යනකොට තව වැඩි වුණොත් එහෙම අපිට මේ සෙන්ටර් එක කරගෙන යන්න ඉදිරියට කරගෙන යන්න විදිහක් නැති වෙනවා.
මේ විදිහට ගියොත් ඇත්තම එදා ගල්ලු ගෙදර යන්න වගේ වෙන්න පුළුවන් මිනිස්සු අපෙන් අයත් වෙලා